Hey guys, it's Raya here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have for you my 12 and 12. So I know a lot of people do like 22 books in 2022 or 23 books in 2023. I don't want to do that because I feel like that's a lot of books that I'm just not going to read. And so to kind of counterbalance that, I decided to do 12 books in 12 months. So these are the 12 books that I really want to read in 2023. So I have 12 months to do it in. And I thought it would be interesting to see if I actually read them and kind of do like a follow-up video next December or like something like that. So we'll see. But yeah, so here's the stack right here. It's quite tall. But let's go ahead and get started. So we'll start with the book on the top because it was on the top. And this is my like special edition, but I won't read this. So the book that I have first is The Glare. The Glare is everything. So the book that I have first, let me just take this off because that'll cut down the glare too. Is Glow by Raven Kennedy, and this is the fourth book in the Played It Prisoner series. I believe it's the fourth one because I think there's Gild, Glint, Gleam, Glow, and then the last one's Gold. Yeah, so this is the fourth book in the Played It Prisoner series, and of course my battery's dying. This is like the third video I'm filming today. Hold on, let me change it. Okay, sorry for the different angle. Anyway, as I was saying, so this is the fourth book in the Played It Prisoner series. This is the bookish box edition, but anyway, so I'll tell you about the series. It follows a girl named Orin, and it is a King Midas retelling. So Orin is a gold-touched girl, and this story is it's a fantasy, but it's a romance, but it's bigger than both of those, I think. I really love this series. I powered through the first 3 books, and then I just haven't read this one, but I want to. So since the end of the year is coming, I know I won't pick it up anytime soon because I have a bunch of other books, but I do really want to pick this up next year. And yeah, so this is the first book in my 12 and 12. Okay, so the next book that I have on this list is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. So Lexi Ryan is one of the authors that I read very early on, I should say, rather, when I started reading romance, and I just haven't picked this book. Well, I haven't picked it up to read. I picked it up, or I bought it, because I really wanted to read it, and it was actually one of my most anticipated books of 2021, and I just never read it. I don't know why I didn't read it, but I just didn't. And I always say when I look at this, I said, if you see the actual cover, well, the US cover I should say rather, it looks like if Throne of Glass and Court of Thorns and Roses had a baby, this would be the book. That's what it makes me think of. I know it's got to do with Fae, and that's about all I know. Says Bree would do anything before making a deal with the Fae. Death is preferable to their vicious schemes, but when her sister is taken by the sadistic king of the Unseelie Court, there is nothing Bree wouldn't do to get her back, including making a deal with the king himself to steal 3 magical relics from the rival Seelie Court. Gaining the unfettered access to the Seelie Court is easier said than done. Bree's only choice is to pose as a potential bride for the Prince Rowan, the Seelie prince who's not quite as wicked as she once thought, unwilling to let her heart distract her. She accepts help from a band of Unseelie misfits with their own secret agenda, but as Bree spends time with their mysterious leader, Finn, she finds herself struggling to resist his seductive charm. Caught between 2 dangerous courts, Bree must decide who to trust with her loyalty and with her heart. I don't know, it sounds really good. I just need to pick it up. And I own a book 2 as well in the Fairy Loot edition, and I just haven't read it. So that is on my list for 12 and 12. I feel like with this, you'll find a lot of them are either starting new series or most of them are continuing series that I just have not finished and haven't picked up. And part of that includes this one, which is Shield of Winter, which is like the 12th book, I think it is, in the Psy Changeling series by Nalini Singh. And this one follows Aiden, and this series follows 3 different type of species. So you have Psy, who are humans with telekinetic powers, you have humans, and then you have Changeling, who are people who shift into animals. And in this world, the Psy have basically cut off their emotion because they felt like it was hindering their growth, and so to that extent they feel like they should be the ones ruling the world because they are unfettered by emotions. And the changelings are basically completely ruled by their emotions and their instincts and their feelings. And so the Psy and the changelings and the humans are kind of at war, and it's not an all-out war, it's more subtle than that. And as you go through each book, it actually gets more epic. But yeah, so the last 2 books, no, not the last 2 books, I'm lying. The last book and then a couple of books before that are my 2 favorite books, but I need to finish the series. And then it's now branched off into like a different series that's like a spin-off, and sorry if I kicked you, and I just have not picked this up. Like I said, this follows Aiden, who is a part of the Arrow Squad, which is like the Psy like Special Forces unit, and I really want to read this. I bought it in 2020 because I wrote the date in it, and I still haven't read it. Alright, another continuing series. Ignore this like nasty spot. This is where the sticker was, and I still haven't like cleaned it. But anyway, so is Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell, and this is the 3rd book in the Simon Snow series. So this series follows Simon Snow, and it's kind of like a spoof on Harry Potter. So it's the chosen one trope, and Simon is supposed to be the chosen one, but every time he tends to use his powers, things go terribly wrong. And in this book, you follow Simon and Baz and Pen and Agatha as they are going back to their school. I can't remember what it's called, because in the second one they're not at the school. Wofford, there you go. So they're going back to Wofford because some things are going terribly wrong and they need to fix the problem. But it kind of makes them question, do they even want powers anymore? Is it worth it? It's a lot of things going on in here, a lot of growth. This series for me is also just like cathartic. It's a dreary type fanfic too, if you're into that. I really love it, so I had to pick that up and put it to this list. So this next one is one that was one of my most anticipated reads, once again, of 2021, and then I never read it. Or not 2021, 2020. There you go. That's even worse though. That's not better. But that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. Now, I think a lot of these that are on this list are because I haven't been reading a ton of YA, which is my own fault. Not a huge deal. But because of that, it's kind of developed into this like standstill of YA, and it just sitting on my shelves unread. But anyway, so Kingdom of the Wicked, it's supposed to be a witch falling in love with one of the princes of hell. I did start this ages ago, but I never finished it. So Amelia and her twin sister Victoria have been inseparable all their lives, and one of the sisters dies, and then yeah, And then Victoria doesn't come home. Amelia knows something happened to her, and she bands together with Wrath, one of the princes of hell, to find out what is happening and who killed Victoria. So I have this really pretty edition. I've actually bought all of the Fairy Loot editions and I still haven't read the book. So I need to do that. And I love all of the like fan art. Like, look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? That looks right up my alley. And I still haven't read it. So, this is on the list. Alright, so next I'm going to do a book that I don't own, and that is Den of Vipers. Now, this book, when I originally heard about it ages ago, before it like blew up everywhere, I said I was going to read it. I actually bought it electronically, so I do own it that way. I just don't own it physically, and I never read it. And I think it was because of all the hype, and it just made me fall out of love with wanting to read it. And at the time I wasn't reading as many like reverse harems too, so it wasn't like something that I was really loving. I did start it. That's what made me want to pick it up to begin with. I read a sample of it in one of my other books and I really liked it, and so I picked it up. And it follows a girl who her father basically like trades her as payment to this mafia group of 4 guys, I believe it is, and she basically tells them no, that's not happening. And the first group of men that they send to her, she kicks all their butts, and then they come themselves to collect her, and they end up taking her, and she kind of fights them tooth and nail, and they each fall for her in their own way. Like I said, I do want to eventually read this. I really want to read it next year. I've owned it for forever, and I just haven't read it. So it's just kind of sitting. So yeah, that is also on my list. And I know all the dark themes, but a lot of the books that I read are dark, so that's not even a huge deal. So this next one, I started a video for it, and then I never read it. I never continued it. So eventually I'll just go back and continue the video, but I just kind of started reading other things because I had other things I wanted to read, and so I put this down. And so what I want to read is House of Earth and Blood, and also House of Sky and Breath, and I want to do a vlog for it. You can see, I hope you can see anyway, like about as far as I read into it, and then I just stopped reading it, which I think is only like 50 pages. So I only got 50 pages in, and then I just put it down. But because I own them both, I want to read them. So next year is apparently going to be a ton of Sarah J. Maas, because I think I own all of her books, and I have read only a handful. So, House of Earth and Blood. This one follows Bryce, and she ends up having like a tragedy, I believe. I haven't read that far into it, where all of her friends get murdered, and she ends up teaming up with this guy named Hunt to figure out how they got murdered. That's about all I know, and I can't tell you more than that. I didn't even get that far into it. That's just what I've heard. So, ooh, excuse the dog barking. So, yeah. So the next one is one I kind of got on a whim, and that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Excuse the dog barking. So they're just going to continue. It's the trash truck outside. So, I have only read The Mortal Instruments. I haven't read anything else. And that was like years ago, like high school, just after high school type thing. And so, I own this because I ended up buying the third book in the series Chain of Thorns in a special edition because I had points and I wanted to use my points, and so I got the book for free. But I thought about it after I bought it, and I'm like, oh well, I don't own any of the other books, nor have I read anything to kind of go along with it. So I think you're supposed to read the, what is it, the Dark Artifices, I believe. And I didn't read that. And I'm not a historical girl either, so I don't know if I would want to read it. But yeah, I bought this one. It's the Barnes & Noble's like, special edition, so it would go with my special edition that I bought. But then I also got this because I need book 1, and I'm gonna eventually have to get book 2. But I'm hoping like there's like a book 2 special edition like this to go along with it, so they all kind of match. But anyway, I know this one follows Cordelia Carstairs. That's about it. That's all I got. That's all I got. I can't even tell you more than that because that's all I got. But it's on my list because I own it. Oh, okay. So the next one I have 2 copies of, and I don't have either one here, so I'm just gonna pop up a book here. It's in my closet. I just didn't feel like going to get it. But that is Witches Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart. And this one, I really wanted it, which is why I have so many editions of it. And I have the second book as well, and I never read it. And I'm trying to read all of those books that I got, especially the ones I got multiple editions of, and I just haven't read. And I don't even really remember what this one is about. I know it's one girl, her mom is the ruler of their land, but she's not a good person, and so she's trying to gain power to stop her. And then another girl is trying to gain power to save her people, and so they end up working together to do that. Other than that, I don't know anything about it. So yeah, there you go. I think that was pretty good though. I don't think I was too far off from that. Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, so the next book. So the next one I have is a fan favorite, and I tried to read this book ages ago, and I could not. I did not like it, and I put it down. And that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, I know a ton of people love this book, and I got a good ways into it. And I just didn't like it. I found it so boring. And I think a lot of people like it because they like Rhysand and they hate Tamlin. And I kind of am like ambivalent either way. Like, I don't love Tamlin, but I don't necessarily love Rhysand either. And I think that's where it came from. I don't love either one of them, and I don't really love Favorite either. So I don't know. But I do want to finish the series since I own it. And I'm going to give it another try because I know it's a lot of people's favorite book. Oh, what's going on? I'm going to give it another try because I know it's a lot of people's favorite book. But I just don't love it. We're going to try it again, but I don't love it. Alright, this next one doesn't have the dust jacket on it because, to be perfectly honest, I don't know what I did with it, if I'm being honest. It is somewhere around here. I took it off because I was starting to read it, or I was supposed to start to read it, so I took it off. The problem with that is that I can't really tell you what it's about either because I didn't get that far into it and I don't remember much, if I'm being honest. So we're just going to show it to you, and that is Of Wicked Blood by Olivia Wildenstein and Kate Hoyos. Now, It's very pretty, as you can see. The dust jacket is very pretty too. I have book 2 of Tainted Blood over here as well, and like I said, I'm trying to read all of those books that I own sequels of and still have not read. So yeah, I think this one, I don't remember. If I'm being honest, I don't remember. I don't know. Let's see. We can look it up. Because genuinely, I really don't remember. I know I really liked it when I got it. But other than that, I have no clue. Okay. So it says, no rest for the wicked or the cursed. Slate didn't mean to steal the bloodstone from the De Morel's crypt. Scratch that. I didn't mean to steal it until I realized it was a curse magnet that only comes off if I, along with a jolly trio, successfully defeat 4 curses. If any of us fail, I'm dead. I've never been a glass half empty sort of person, but my glass looks in dire need of a refill right about now. The only highlight to this wicked treasure hunt, feisty and entitled Cadence de Morel. Cadence, I was raised on tales of magic in a small town reputed to be the birthplace of French witchcraft. Did I believe all the stories I heard? Absolutely not. I mean, if magic existed, Maman wouldn't have died, and Papa wouldn't be stuck in a wheelchair, right? Wrong. The night Slate Ardoin waltzes into my life wearing a ring he stole from my mother's grave, I call him a monster, but then I meet real ones. And Slate? Well, he becomes something else to me. Something frustrating to live with, but impossible to live without. Something I will fight for, no matter the cost. So, there you go. It sounds really good. I just have not read it. I have not read it. And I really wanted it. And I have not read it. So, that is on my list of books to read next year. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Actually, I think this is the last one. Yes, this is the last book. And this is one that I've been slogging through all year and have not finished. And that, if I can get it out of here, it's in like the book sleeve. And that is Dune by Frank Herbert. Now, this one I received for my birthday a couple years ago. It's like the anniversary edition. It's pretty in blue. There's like artwork in it. It's very nice. Like, very nice. And then there's like artwork on the dust jacket. It's also embossed. I got a good ways into this, I'm not gonna lie. But I was trying to listen to it and read it, and my book, which I did not know, is a little bit different from, like, you can see I got a good chunk into it. I'm like 87 pages in. But my book is a little bit different from the audio, and I did not know that until I started listening to it. Which I'm guessing is because it's the anniversary edition, so it has some extra stuff that is not in the audio. But I was loving it. I just did not finish, and I put it down, and once you put this, like something like this down, you don't pick it back up. Now, Dune is one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite storylines, and it follows Paul Atreides, and his father ends up, let me go back and explain a little bit more, because this one's a little bit complicated. So basically, this is a futuristic world where the currency of this world is spice. Now, spice is the, like, the off, I don't even know what to call it. It's like what's left when one of these planets called Arrakis is like tilled over by worms, and so it's these worms end up producing spice, and spice is said to give you psychic powers. It's said to open up your mind, but it also fuels their spaceships, their light, their power. It does everything for them. And so spice is the currency of this world. And when the emperor of this world takes the planet of Arrakis from one of the richest houses in this world, which is the Harkonnens, he gives it to Paul's father. And he tells the Duke that he is now meant to rule Arrakis and harvest spice. Well, the Harkonnens do not agree with that, and they are very upset that their planet and their cash crop, basically, is taken from them. And because of that, they are after Paul and his family. And this story follows that. It also follows his mother, who is a Bene Gesserit. And in this world, the Bene Gesserits are like the soothsayers of this world. They are like the, I don't know how to, like the advisors to the top people of this world. And they have been going throughout history and kind of playing a rolling game of dice with the bloodlines and the people. And Paul's mother takes it upon herself to bear a son to the Duke when she wasn't supposed to. And it is said that when a Bene Gesserit bears a son, it will be the Messiah, basically, of this world. And so they're trying to figure out if Paul is that Messiah, because he does seem to show the powers of the Bene Gesserit, but also something beyond that, something more. I really love this story. I just need to finish it. And don't get me wrong, I haven't read the story straight through, but I have skipped around and read parts, which is part of the problem, I think, is that I've like skipped around, so I know parts of the story, and then some things I know just from watching the movies, but I haven't read all of the book straight through. So it's kind of messing me up a little bit. So I really, really want to finish this in 2023. It is a huge goal of mine. It is a story I really love. And I think it's not going to happen until I just like sit and just force myself, like take a day and just get through a big chunk of it at a time. Which is part of also why I like marked it, but I just didn't keep to that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I love the story. If any of that sounds interesting to you, pick it up. It is a sci-fi fantasy. It is a good mix of sci-fi and fantasy. There's some space stuff, but there's also things about a whole new world, new creatures, new everything, but it still holds on to a lot of those sci-fi, like odd technology type things that I really love. So yeah, I love this story. Pick it up. But that is it. So those are my 12 and 12. Those are all the books that I want to read in 2023 over the next 12 months. I'm super excited for them. They're books that I've been holding on to for a while, and I've been planning to read them and saying I was going to read them, and I just haven't gotten to it. So hopefully within the next 12 months you will see that happen. I don't know if over the next 12 months I want to do like TBRs where it'll kind of, the books will be on my TBR and it'll kind of urge me to read them a little bit more, but that's kind of where I'm at now. So yeah, as usual, I'll leave all the videos or all the books in this video linked down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you want it, and I will see you guys in my next video leading up to the new year. Bye guys.